Joining us now is Adda Athanasopoulos-Zekkos. She's an assistant professor at the College of Civil and Environmental Engineering at the University of California in Berkeley. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate your time.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So once again, it's become obvious that 20th century infrastructure has not been built to cope or survive a 21st century crisis caused by climate change. Storms and flooding, like we saw 24 hours ago in the New York area, will only get worse. I want you to listen now to the senator from New York State. That's Chuck Schumer. Here he is.
Woe is us if we don't recognize these changes are due to climate change. Woe is us if we don't do something about it quickly, both in building resilient infrastructure and going to clean power.
So in this context, how bad is woe? And exactly what does resilient mean when we're talking about resilient infrastructure? What does that cost and what's the level here? What will gauge success for resilience?
So I think something that is important to understand is that when we talk about infrastructure, that involves many different types of systems and components. And what we're seeing now occur more and more frequently is a domino effect, basically, where the failure of one system affects the performance of another system. So it's really important to design and to strengthen these with that always in mind. Now, of course, as you mentioned, this is going to require significant resources, and I think we cannot step away from supporting our infrastructure. We do have solutions, we have capabilities, but it is important to have the resources and the will to back that up. I think a good example is Hurricane Katrina versus Hurricane Ida and the difference in the response of the levee systems in New Orleans. It is something that we're going to be looking into with reconnaissance efforts very soon to compare the difference between the response of a strengthened system.
Well, in New Orleans had a situation where $15 billion was spent upgrading the levee system, and that worked great. It prevented the flooding like we saw during Katrina. But the city's without power because the electricity is out because the grid collapsed. That would seem to be an example of an incomplete. A lot more needs to be done.
Exactly. No, I agree that, as I mentioned before, these are highly complex interconnected systems, and we need to design them and address them as such. This is why it's important to use these disasters to turn them into knowledge, study exactly what happened, what worked well, because it's important to be able to recognize that and then move on and understand what didn't and what can be done better next time.
You know, computer modelling has been able to forecast fairly well the overall trends and the changes which is happening in our climate and where we're heading. There isn't a lot of specific data on how extreme the extremes will actually get. That seems to be the missing part of the puzzle right now. How can you build infrastructure to survive a weather event 30 years in the future when you don't know how bad that weather event could be?
This is an excellent point, and I think this is the challenge that we face. We are constantly updating our models in terms of the forecast, whether that is a surge following a hurricane or wind gusts. And I think we need to continue to learn from the disasters that we experience. We need to use our best projected models, and this is why it's really important to investigate every single event so that we can continue to validate and calibrate our models to make them better in terms of being able to predict. At the same time, I think we need to realize that we are never going to be able to eliminate risk. What we are trying to do is reduce risk, reduce the loss of human life, of course, first and foremost, make our communities more resilient so that even if affected by certain failures, they can quickly bounce back. And it's very important to be able to do that in an equitable way so that everybody has access to such resources.
There is the infrastructure bill, which has passed the Senate in the United States. It's now with the House of Representatives. It's billions of dollars in that bill for climate change investment, for resilience within infrastructure. That's now being debated. How much time do we have, essentially, to wait for these sort of political arguments to unfold before this money starts to be spent? Because what happens in the United States influences the rest of the world. You know, this country sets the benchmark, others tend to follow. So what happens here is important. But there seems to be so much time now being wasted and has been wasted up until this point.
In my opinion, there is no longer time to waste. Climate change is here. I was watching the early part of your segments. I think the evidence is overwhelming. We definitely need to act now, and we need to continue to support the improvement of our infrastructure, the engineers in offering new solutions, and the ability basically to reimagine certain parts of the infrastructure so that it can accommodate our new needs.